The Green River Killer by Jesse Piccolo, CRJ 490E, Serial Murders. Gary Ridgway, background. Gary Ridgway was born February 18, 1949 in Salt Lake City. He was the middle son of two other boys. He was a poor student in high school. He suffered from dyslexia, and he also had a sexual attraction to his demeaning mother. Sexual attraction was developed when he was a teenager because he used to wet his bed up into those years of teenage years. And he developed a sexual attraction as well as a feeling to blame his mother for this confusion of feelings. Background of Ridgway. When Ridgway was 16 years old, he wanted to know what it felt like to kill somebody. So when he was walking down the street, there was a 6-year-old boy playing cowboy in the driveway. He proceeded to persuade him into the woods, and there, Gary Ridgway pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed the little boy in the ribs all the way into his liver. The little boy survived, and Gary Ridgway got away. It was claimed and said that he walked away laughing. Ridgway joined the Navy at the age of 20. He spent a lot of time with prostitutes over his years due to his insatiable sex drive. He caught multiple diseases, STDs, gonorrhea, chlamydia. He was married 3 times and showed sex-related controversies in each of his marriages. He was a very jealous man. Background on the case: the location, King County, Washington, USA. Method of murder: strangling. Gary Ridgway liked to strangle his women to death because it was more to the point, and it rewarded his feelings more, it satisfied him. He said knives and guns would be too messy. He was sentenced to 48 consecutive life terms on December 18, 2003. He chose his victims very carefully, and he took pride in his details. He was known to be a perfectionist. He wanted every little thing to be right. His victims' ages ranged from 12 to 38. He liked to pick up vulnerable women, such as runaways or mainly prostitutes. He would spend hours patrolling the Pacific Highway South and other areas known for prostitution. He would blend in with public and just look like your average Joe, so he would be very sneaky. He would pull his truck into a convenience store, pop his hood to throw off suspicion, and watch for girls that looked very easy to kidnap and kill and lure in, and girls that will not be missed. Classification and profile. Gary Ridgway's classification as a serial killer. His characteristics: rape and necrophilia. Number of victims: 49. It's what he's convicted of, but he claims to kill anywhere from 85 to 90. The date of the murders is 1982 to 1998. He was arrested November 30th, 2001. Psychological and social explanations. Gary had an antisocial personality. This is how he was able to keep killing and killing and killing and have no remorse or feel any guilt for his victims. He showed no concerns for rights or feelings of others. Um, he was deceitful or manipulative. He acted charming and clever. He had a complete lack of conscience. He was a dangerous man. Sicko. He was arrested in 2001 in King County. He was accused of 5 murders. 2 years later, when prosecutors were preparing 7 separate murder cases, Ridgway offered to confess to those 7 and 41 other murders. They did a plea deal, and in the plea deal, to avoid the death penalty, Ridgway agreed to take the police to the sites where the rest of his victims were dumped. After working together for years, Ridgway has led police to some victims' remains, but not all. Ridgway blames this on bodies decomposing or being taken by animals. I believe Ridgway is offering to help bring the police to the victims' bodies, not only to bring closure to the families, because someone sick like him I feel does not care at all. He just wants to replay his killings in his head and go back to the sites where he dumped the body to relive the experience and show the police, this is where I dumped the dead body, and you couldn't catch me. And basically showing off his trophy sites of where he he did his dirty deeds. This is my presentation on Gary Ridgway for CRJ 490E.